Season 3 of the Netflix favorite show Emily in Paris just came out, and fans already can't get enough. In fact, viewers are already calling for Season 4 to come out, especially after that cliffhanger ending. Still, there are actually a lot of details that some fans might have missed out on in Season 3 of the show, but don't worry, we got you. So let's get right into it. First up, at number 1, the McBaguette has been around since 2012. After Sylvie realizes that her new company is in a non-compete with her previous company, Savoir, she learns that she needs to get new clients fast. And one of the companies that Emily manages to grab for her is none other than McDonald's, which is looking to launch its McBaguette in France. Now, as crazy as this might sound, not a lot of people know that the McBaguette actually already exists exclusively in McDonald's in France. In fact, it's been a part of the McDonald's French menu since 2012. Next up, at number 2, Sylvie's firm actually speaks French once Emily leaves. One of the main things that fans complained about, and the most unrealistic parts of the first 2 seasons, was how quickly all the French characters on the show switched to primarily speaking English, even when Emily wasn't around. This is a pretty big thing to say, considering that a lot of things happen on the show that need a little bit of suspension of disbelief. Anyways, it looks like the people behind the show heard loud and clear, because in Season 3, we see lots of scenes of Sylvie and her team speaking French during their meetings as Agence Gratteau. Also, even when 2 French characters speak with each other, they speak in their native language, as it should be. Plus, the office switches to English whenever Emily or any English-speaking clients are around. But for the most part, whenever a conversation is taking place between 2 French speakers, they speak to each other in French. Coming up at number 3, many of the details from Emily's opening dream come true, including the fashion choices. Season 3 of Emily in Paris starts off with Emily having a dream that suddenly turns into an absolute nightmare. Basically, what happens is she's standing on the Eiffel Tower, watching over the edge when Sylvie and Madeline confront her about who she's really working for before she falls backward over the ledge. And that's when she wakes up. Literally, the same thing happens in real life later on in the episode, minus the fall part, of course. In fact, all the women are even wearing the very same outfits they wore in Emily's dream. Following up at number 3, Madeline's setting options aren't on the screen during her Zoom call. After trying out a pretty funny cat filter as part of Emily's pitch for a pet food campaign, Madeline finds that she doesn't know how to remove the filter. What's worse is that this happens during her very important Zoom meeting with the Chicago team. Now, adding or removing a filter is usually accessed through the settings menu on Zoom. But the interesting part about this scene is that there aren't any menu options visible on Madeline's tablet screen. Moving on to number 4, when Emily and Madeline move their stuff out of the office, they leave all the computers and files. After Emily and Madeline became the only 2 people left on the Savoir Paris team, they went through a lot, and one of those things was having to endure Sylvie's elaborate plan to slowly drive them insane and out of the office building. And after dealing with broken elevators, extreme heat, and even a pigeon, Madeline finally gives in and announces that the 2 are officially leaving the office building. Immediately, she tells Emily to pack up, but she only takes a few boxes with herself and her laptop. In fact, the 2 don't seem to care about all of the desktop computers or even the bookshelf full of files and materials. And maybe we could have pretended that the 2 came back for them later on, but all of those things are still in place when Sylvie ends up taking over the office for Agence Gratteau later on in the episode. Now for number 5, Emily's live stream comments mention Paris's lack of air conditioning. Back in Season 1, when Emily moves to Paris for the first time in her life, she experiences a lot of culture shocks, and one of them was when she was very surprised to learn that air conditioning actually isn't that common in French buildings. Season 3 decided to make a callback to that when the same issue came up again when Emily and Madeline sweated out in the office. Of course, that was mainly because the owner of the building low-key turned on the heating slightly, but that's another story for another time. Anyways, even after Emily quits Savoir and starts live streaming her adventures around Paris for all her followers, more people start to bring it up. In fact, one of the commenters even said, "Paris is beautiful, but I hear they do not have air conditioning." There was another that said, "My dad said the Uber drivers would not turn on the AC in Paris." Next up at number 6, the book cover Camille uses on an exhibit poster is by a writer who was exiled from France. As part of the marketing for Sophia's exhibit, Camille uses the book cover of Confessions by by Jean-Jacques Rousseau, which is pretty fitting, considering that the exhibit includes a confessional booth. Not many people know that Rousseau was a philosopher and writer who ended up being exiled from France. This is already interesting, but even more considering that it kind of foreshadows Camille's decision later on to leave France and be with Sophia for a while in Greece. Finally, at number 7, earning a Michelin star is even more difficult than what Gabriel explains. One of the major plot points in the 3rd season of Emily in Paris is that Gabriel shares his dream of getting a Michelin star for his restaurant. When Emily asks what he has to do to get it, the chef explains that it means keeping the quality of his food consistently excellent. Now, while this is one of the actual requirements, this isn't the only requirement. Yes, anonymous inspectors can dine at the restaurant anytime, so all guests should be served top quality food every shift. But first of all, restaurants have to actually catch the attention of the Michelin inspector team first. So before keeping his food quality excellent, Gabriel would actually have to gain a reputation for his restaurant to even start his Michelin star journey. Moving on, here is everything we know about Emily in Paris Season 4. Season 3 of Emily in Paris literally just came out, so it's a stretch to expect Season 4 to come out anytime soon. But that hasn't stopped fans from demanding it. And while it's going to be a while before we get to see what happens after that jaw-dropping season finale, here is everything we know about the upcoming season. Let's get right into it. First up, Seasons 3 and 4 were filmed back-to-back. The 4th season of the Netflix series was actually ordered about 2 years ago, with the streamer renewing the show for both Seasons 3 and 4 way back in January 2021. The news was announced back then by both Netflix and Collins, with the renewal coming pretty soon after the premiere of Season 2. According to Variety, these 2 seasons were actually filmed back-to-back in France earlier this year, which means that we might see the show's return even earlier than its traditional holiday season drop. Still, the latest we'd get the new season would be right before Christmas 2023. Next up, most of the cast is likely to return, including Alfie. Even though Netflix still hasn't confirmed who will be a part of the cast of Season 4, it's pretty guaranteed that most of the show's main players will be coming back, including Lily Collins, who plays Emily herself, Ashley Park, who plays Mindy, Lucas Bravo, who plays Gabriel, Camille Razat, who plays the character with the same name as her, Camille, Philippine Leroy Bolio, who plays Sylvie Gratteau, Samuel Arnold, who plays Julian, and Bruno Guri, who plays Luke. There is one big question about the cast of Season 4 though. Will Lucien Laviscount, who plays Alfie on the show, come back? Considering that he broke up with Emily after Camille exposed her and Gabriel's feelings for each other, Star told TV Guide that the Brit will probably still be a part of the show, as Emily will still have to work with him even though they aren't together anymore. The creators shared that the 4th season of the show will be all about navigating complicated relationships, personal relationships, and work relationships, and how they come into conflict with each other. They went on to note that Emily will still have to work with Alfie, Gabriel, and Camille, even after everything that happened, and those work relationships are really fraught with emotional conflicts. Anyways, if there's one cast member that probably won't return for another season, it's probably Kate Walsh, who plays Madeline on the show. Season 3 saw her deciding to shut down the Paris branch for good and finally return to Chicago with her newborn. But never say never, and there's always the chance we might meet Emily's former boss again, at least for a scene or two. Finally, the Emily, Gabriel, Camille love triangle will have to deal with the prospect of the baby. Season 4 will definitely be dealing with the aftermath of that jaw-dropping finale, where not only did we witness Camille and Gabriel breaking up right at the altar and Emily and Alfie's breakup, but we also learned that Camille is pregnant. Now, in an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Starz shared that the pregnancy will definitely be a serious complication for whether Gabriel and Emily finally get together or not. But the creator also shared that it's unlikely that we'll see Camille giving birth anytime soon. And that's a wrap for this video. What do you think will happen in Emily in Paris Season 4? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.